Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Back again on site for another beautiful episode of My Goem, and this time I have come here to one of the most beautiful places in Goa, and that is the island of Sant Estevao. I am right now standing on the bridge between Kumbarzoa and Sant Estevao. This island, they say, is made up of 7 different small islets. Let's see whether we can identify this when we go up. But why I have come over here is to bring to you the fort of Sant Estevao. I'm going to tell you a lot more history about this island. But before that, let's go up to the fort, see the fort, and I will keep on telling you small tidbits of the amazing history of this island. So ladies and gentlemen, we have now come on the island of Sant Estevao. Now I have come up this very steep slope to get you something that is there on this island. But let's go back a little bit in time. We all know that Afonso Albuquerque took over Old Goa or Goa from the Adil Shah on 25th of November 1510. But this particular island he took over 2 years later on the day which was being celebrated as the feast of Saint Stephen the Proto-Martyr. And they named this island or a set of islands as Sant Estevao or Saint Stephen's Islands. This Sant Estevao Island, which we call as a island, is actually made up of a cluster of islands. There were, they say, 7 islands. It is said that they constructed a band or a wall around this land, marshy land as well as the river, and they filled up the areas which made them get a beautiful harvest of vegetables. The local people also called this as the Shakeche Zue. Zue means island, Shak means vegetables. But the lady fingers, benes of this island were supposed to be the best, and that brought a name to the residents of this island called as Benekars. It is said with love, not with criticism, because today the beno is one of the best vegetables available in the market. Now, on this island, since this was an island, there had to be a river or water body all around. Now, on the east side of this land is the Mandavi River or the Kumbarzoa Canal, the Mandavi River, the rivulet which are going. And it separated the Ponda and the Bicholim talukas, which I am going to show you. Very exciting places also. So they needed to protect this land from any enemy forces that may have attacked them, whether it was Adil Shahi or the Marathas on the other side. So they constructed a cute little fort on top, and this is called as the fort of Sant Estevao. It is one of the cutest fort and the smallest fort that we can see, amazingly well maintained by the Directorate of Archives and Archaeology. From what I hear, the INTEC, the society which protects the heritage of the lands in India, they too played a major role. But that, let's hear it when we go up there. But for you, please see the fort on top, that is the fort of Sant Estevao. As I am walking inside, I will explain to you the different aspects of this. Let's not waste time, let's go on top. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a protected monument, and if you do anything wrong over here, then you can get a fine of 5,000 rupees or 3 months of imprisonment. Ladies and gentlemen, this type of small little heritage sites, we have to preserve them. We have to take care of them. But when we came here, we found a lot of broken glass bottles, plastic strewn around the place. That doesn't give a good image of what Goa is and Goans are. We cannot say Goa, Goan and all those particular things if we cannot preserve our heritage. Now, this particular place, the island of Sant Esteve, is also called as Ilha de Morta, means the island of death. On 24th of November 1683, about 40 Negroes in the service of Chhatrapati Sambhaji crossed over this island at low tide. They came here and you can see that it's not having too high walls. They used ladders, they climbed up here and they took over the fort. What I want to tell you is that those Negroes that came here were here on 24th, 25th. The Portuguese were scared. Even the viceroy who came here with 400 of his soldiers, he could not control those people. And on the other side, Sambhaji had already come with a huge army. He wanted to take over this place. But fortunately for the Portuguese, unfortunately for Sambhaji, it was high tide, and when he put his horse in the river, he started getting washed away. And his Khandoji Ballal, one of his generals, pulled him back and saved him. But at the same time, on the other side, the Portuguese were getting together their galleons from Mormugao, from Reis Magos, from Fort Aguada to send over here and encircle this place. Possibly, Sambhaji came to know about this. And for some unknown reasons, they left all the arms, ammunition here and they disappeared from here. Not that Sambhaji left Goa. From November till 6th of January, he was here and he laid siege to Fort Aguada and all these places, except Mormugao, Rashol, Aguada and Reis Magos fort. He could not take over these 4 forts, but he took over most of the places and he attacked those. But at the same time, there is a story that goes over here, and if you go for the exposition every 10 years, you will find that on the right side of the sacred relics of St. Francis Xavier, in that glass casket, you find a scepter, a stick. Now, it was this stick that was held by the viceroy. When the viceroy came to know that the attack by Sambhaji was imminent, he went back and he placed his staff next to the body of St. Francis Xavier at that time, and he said, please save us, whether it was providence or coincidence. Sambhaji had got news that the Mughals were attacking his place and he had to leave and go. So it is considered as a miracle, and St. Francis Xavier is called as protector of Goa from that particular time. But that I told you that they climb with ladders. Even if you come with a ladder from your house and you put it here, you can still get inside. This is the cuteness of the fort of Sant Esteve. Let's go inside. We don't have to get ladders. The conservators have done a wonderful job and they have put up nice steps. So let's go over the steps into the fort. Come on. So when we are going into the fort, I told you that this fort is the smallest fort and it was conserved. Now, if you look behind me, these stones are very dark, while these stones here are new. You can make out that a few years back when I had come here, this full corner had collapsed. Now it has been conserved and put into how it was originally looking. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you look at forts, there are 3 different types of forts. One which are on the hillock on top, like this Sant Esteve fort. In Goa, we had the forts down almost at sea level because we have a long coastline and we were protecting either the coastline, main sea, or the rivers from enemy attack. And the third type of fort is built inside the water. Like we don't have anyone here, but in Maharashtra you find Sindhudurg over there, which is surrounded by water. This fort, the Sant Esteve fort, the entry point of that faces west. The Arabian Sea is this side behind me. Ladies and gentlemen, from here you get one of the most wonderful view. We will show you the view of all around, but I can show that down there is Old Goa, which was the capital of the then Portuguese Goa. This fort has natural defense, and the sides of this fort, of the mountain, is very steep. So it required the least of protection here. No enemy would come this side. So these are small aspects of the military engineering that I keep on talking about. So when they were rolling the cannons, they had to take them up to the fort. And if you see that as I am walking up, I am coming to a steep ramp, and I will show you I can run up this ramp and then take a risk to slip and fall down. I won't do that. Especially if you are coming here during the rains, take care. Please wear shoes that are non-slippery. The sides are very steep, so if you have got children with you, be very careful, because a slip of your leg over here, because the stones become very slippery, you will have a major casualty. Avoid that, because our heritage is meant to be enjoyed, not seen from the hospital bed. Okay? Come up. So when I come up this ramp, I reach to this flat area, and this platform was connected to the main fort over these steps. So let me go in and see how the fort is. Follow me after you see this wonderful scenery. So when you come inside over here, it is just about, say, 15 to 20 meters this side and 15 to 20 meters this side. This is the area of the fort. You can see a beautiful arch. So possibly instead of these gates, there was a thick door over here. And in the center of this is a small little house. Now for this house was possibly for the garrison or for the captain to remain. We'll go inside and see it. But at the northern end of this building, we find a circular structure. And this was the place possibly to store the ammunition. And look at this. You don't know whether there was an altar here or it was a watch post to keep an eye on the amazing scenery that you get from here. You have to come here to see. I will show you a glimpse of this, but you must come here, stand here and watch the amazing scenery that you can see from here. But before that, let's go inside this and see whether any ammunition is left for us. Come on. See how small the door was. They didn't want the ammunition to be laid open to everybody. But come inside. It's very cool inside. But look at the structuring of that. It's beautiful. You can hear the voice booming over here. It's about a foot below, but the top ceiling is curved and it is strengthened with masonry. So even if the enemy had to shoot, this structure would take that force of that. See how this ammunition room looks like. Small niche. This niche is called as a kurkut. In Konkani, we call this as a kurkut. Possibly, when it was dark, they would keep a lamp here. Very dangerous to keep a lamp, oil lamp, when there is ammunition here. This cute little fort played a very important part in protecting against the Marathas, against the Sambhaji attack, though this was run over for 3 days. But somewhere around 1763, it lost its importance. And from 1772 till 1800, a very handful of a battalion was kept over here. Just around 20 soldiers were kept over here, mainly as a lookout post. But it came into importance after liberation, when the Directorate of Archives and Archaeology took it over and said, okay, this fort was used to destroy something, now let's protect it. My Goem always tells you, ladies and gentlemen, that our aim is to protect, preserve and to promote. It's sad, it's really sad to see that on one hand we say that we love Goa, Ami Goenkar, but when it comes to protecting of this type of heritage sites, we forget that love for Goa. Please do not vandalize. We know that a boy loves another girl, we know that. Don't make it public, because in this fort also, even after it has been well done, we see lot of love messages here. Please don't do that. I told you, vandalizing, you get a fine of 5,000 or you get imprisonment. You get caught, you are in big problem. Please don't come into such areas with glass bottles. Please remember that ladies and young children come here to see what this fort is. Next time you are caught here, be careful to get lovely holiday in the jail. I told you about the captain's barrack that was over here. I entered this place. Behind me is where that ammunition dump we just walked in. But what happened here was, I met the conservator of this fort. We have met him earlier. We'll meet him again. And this gentleman, architect Ketak Nashnolkar, he has been having a hand and glories have been heaped on him for the work that he has done at Old Goa in the World Heritage Site, as well as what is happening right now in the Jain Basti. So here we have our good friend, Mr. Ketak Nashnolkar. Welcome to My Goem.
Oh, thank you.
Ketak Bab, you know, I made a statement that this was the smallest fort in Goa. How far am I true?
Yes, this is one of the smallest forts actually in Goa. This was mainly a outpost, sort of a small outpost, basically to guard, the north eastern entry. This was an outpost at the time of Adil Shah.
Okay.
When the city actually grew under Adil Shah, and then the Portuguese actually reinforced.
The fort was not there, but the outpost
was there.
Okay.
The Portuguese made it into an elaborate fort because they came at a time here when fort building, and there were various treatises on forts, especially with the coming of gunpowder and the kind of warfare that changed at that point of time.
So this is behind to store gunpowder?
Yes, these were to store gunpowder. We have found some cannonballs there when we were cleaning up the place there. And this entire thing, this structure is typically of that era, actually 1700s.
Okay. From when did you all start doing the conservation, and on whose behalf?
We did this. Of course, I was involved through INTEC, New Delhi, which is a major name as far as conservation goes. architectural conservation and material conservation goes. And they were in turn requested by the Goa government because this is a state protected monument.
Okay.
And we started sometime around 2007 or so. And then the physical work we started only once it got sanctioned, sometime in 2009 till about 2012.
Okay. And here also you all made use of the original materials or something like original materials.
Yes, we did some studies on what the original material was. It was mainly lateritic mud and chuna which you got from the riverbed here. There were a couple of chuna bhattis down here in the village also.
Okay.
So we got those laterite also. At that point of time, laterite came from all that rocky terrain which is here. You can see some cuts still in the rocks. Of course, we had to procure these new stones. That was the thing. That was the main thing which actually took time.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen this beautiful cross altar over there. And on top of it, there is one statue of Jesus Christ which was brought from Portugal in 1926. I am not as strong as that statue. The heat here is too much. But you can read the history of that particular cross and the statue over here on this plaque that has been put up over here. What story I am going to tell you about is that there is another cross on the side. Now what the folk legend tells us is that one day there was a robbery in the church of St. Stephen's. The chalices and all the silverware were robbed. People were upset, very upset. They searched all over the place until they caught hold of one man who confessed that he had robbed it. But he said, I have not taken it anywhere. I have buried it in one place because when I robbed it and when I was going away with it, the chalice and those items became so heavy, I could not even lift them. So what I did was I dug a hole and I buried it on the hillock next to the fort. And when they came here, they found everything, and in place of that, they constructed that cross. This is a story that has been told to me many times when I came to this village. Let's see that cross. So ladies and gentlemen, here we are, such a fine specimen of church architecture in Goa. This church was established in the year 1575. They celebrate their feast on 26th of December. It is dedicated to Saint Stephen. Now you can see a nice dome on top, but it's a false dome. It's half a dome. It has got two bell towers, and this particular church came under attack in 1683 and around 1739 when the Maratha forces came here, and they realized that this particular church was constructed on the Ravalnath temple, so they burned this down. The structure that you see today, that was built somewhere around 1759, what you see over here, and the whole island is known by the name of the patron saint of this church, Saint Stephen or Saint Estevao. Saint Estevao. You can see a lot of crosses around over here. These are the stations, the crosses of the stations, which are put to use during the Lent period. And also you must see when you come over here the cross on which the Mother Mary idol has been put up over there. ladies and gentlemen, don't ever come into Sant Esteve and go back without visiting this church. From here, you proceed straight down and you go to a place called as Akhada. I will tell you about Akhada when we reach over there. But right now, just see this and all the structures around. When we came to Sant Esteve, there was one place I had to bring you. This place is called as the Akhada. Behind me you can see a river. Ladies and gentlemen, this point is very, very important. You have seen the barge, that is, it came down from top and it went into the river body over there. This is the point where three rivers meet, very, very important for Mahashivratri. What I see on the opposite side of Akhada is the Bicholim Taluka, and what you see on the other side, those steps and that crematorium over there, is the place where the famous Bhutanchi Jatra or the festival of ghosts is held. On that night, nobody stays over there. Though during the day, almost about 50 to 60,000 people or more, and almost about 33 palanquins from different temples, they come and they await on top over there. What you see behind me over there, that is the Tiswadi Island, and I am standing here on Sant Esteve Island. So this point is the Madai river comes from top, it goes down as the Mandovi river via the Shorround Island, and the barge that you saw going inside, that is the Kumbarzoa canals, that is Bicholim, Sant Esteve and Tiswadi Island. So ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this episode, and if there is anything, I am sure you have liked this particular program and our other programs of My Goem on Prudent. If you have anything to say, anything to tell us, if you have suggestions, if you want us to make corrections, if you have got something that you want us to cover, please write to us on the email that you see over there. Having come to this point, I am going to sign off and waiting for you for the next episode. Signing off on behalf of My Goem and my team of My Goem.